If you were told that 4 students from a class of 20 were questioned for a poll about study habits, this would be an example of. In random sampling, a sample is selected randomly from a population. In systematic sampling, a sample of the kth place is selected such as every 4th member in a row. In stratified sampling, a sample is randomly selected from strata, or categories and subjects examined, questioned, or tested. In cluster sampling, the population is divided into clusters. A cluster, or clusters, is randomly selected for observation or questioning. The correct answer to this question would be cluster sampling. A cluster of 4 is selected, and all members of that cluster were questioned. Which of the following correctly describes the relationship between a sample and a population? Is a sample a group of populations that are subject to observation? Is a population a group of samples that may or may not be included in a study? Is it that a sample is a group of subjects selected from a population to be studied? Or is it that a population and a sample are not related? The correct answer is that a sample is a group of subjects selected from a population to be studied. Identify the number as either continuous or discrete. The number of freshmen entering college in a certain year is 621. Is the number 621 discrete or continuous? A continuous number may consist decimal places or fractions, while a discrete number consists of whole numbers only. Therefore, the number 621 is discrete. The 4 basic methods used to obtain samples are random, irregular, cluster, and stratified sampling. Is this true or false? The correct answer is that it is false. We do not have an irregular method of sample collection. Determine whether the given value is a statistic or a parameter. After taking the first exam, 15 of the students dropped the class. Is the value 15 a statistic or a parameter? The correct answer is that it is a parameter, since 15 is a characteristic of the entire population of the class.
A person's hair color would be an example of quantitative variable. Is this true or false? A quantitative variable is a variable, or a characteristic that is measurable. A person's hair color would be an example of qualitative variable since a color is immeasurable, or uncountable. Therefore, the correct answer would be that it is false. Which branch of statistics would employ probability to predict how many miles one should be able to drive a 2000 Toyota Celica during its lifetime? It is important to notice that there are 2 branches of statistics: descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics deals with the science of collecting samples, recording data, analyzing the data, and representing them in a descriptive format, such as in graphs, pie charts, among others. Inferential statistics deals with the science of making meaning of descriptive statistics. That is, explaining what the descriptive statistical data means in real life. Hence, the correct answer to our question would be inferential statistics. Inferential statistics uses descriptive data to predict how far one should be able to drive the Toyota Celica during its lifetime. Provide an appropriate response. Define continuous and discrete data and give an example of each. An appropriate response would be: continuous data results from infinitely many possible quantitative values, where the collection of values is not countable, such as lengths from 0 cm to 12 cm. Moreover, discrete data results when the data values are quantitative and the number of values is finite or countable, such as the number of tosses of a coin before getting tails. Which of the following best defines the relationship between confounding, dependent, and independent variables? A confounding variable is a factor other than treatment that causes effect on the subject under study. A dependent variable, also called a response variable, changes when the independent variable is changed. It is usually the variable that a researcher is interested in. An independent variable is a factor that is not affected by other variables. It is this variable that the researcher manipulates, and tries to observe how the dependent variable responds. In this case, the confounding variable influences the dependent variable, but is not separated from the independent variable. Classifying the fruit in a basket as apple, orange, or banana is an example of the dash level of measurement. Is it the nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio level of measurement? Nouns, or objects, such as apples, oranges, or bananas, lie in the nominal level of measurement. Data lying in the nominal level of measurement has categories only, but cannot be ranked, has no zero natural starting point, and the difference between the data values is meaningless. Therefore, classifying the fruit in a basket as apple, orange, or banana is an example of the nominal level of measurement. The dash level of measurement classifies data into categories that can be ranked. However, precise differences between the ranks do not exist. The ordinal level of measurement is the only level where the data can be ranked, but the difference between the data values cannot be precisely determined, and has no natural zero starting point. Therefore, the ordinal level of measurement is the level that classifies data into categories that can be ranked. However, precise differences between the ranks do not exist. discrete variable is a variable that can assume categorical values only, a countable set of values only, an uncountable set of values, or non-numerical values. The correct answer is, a discrete variable is a variable that can assume a countable set of values only. Quantitative data can be further classified as continuous or nonsequential. Is this true or false? Quantitative data can be further classified as continuous or discrete data. We do not have a nonsequential class of quantitative data. Therefore, this statement is false. Solve the problem. A decorator has 20 clients, 25% of whom are businesses. Find the number of business clients. We find the number of clients by multiplying 25% by 20. It is important to note that percent means our value is out of 100. 25 divided by 100 multiplied by 20 is 5. Therefore, 25% of 20 clients is 5 clients. The Megabucks lottery involves selecting 3 numbers from a single bin. This is an example of sampling. With replacement, or without replacement? Sampling with replacement requires that selected or picked items are replaced from where they are picked. In our case, the 3 numbers picked are not replaced after selection. Thus, this is an example of sampling without replacement. The amount of time needed to run the Boston Marathon is an example of which type of variable? Is it discrete, qualitative, continuous, or temporal? Time is a continuous variable. A continuous variable increases progressively on an infinite scale from start to finish. That is, time can be counted in hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, microseconds, and so on. Hence, the amount of time needed to run the Boston Marathon is an example of a continuous variable. What level of measurement classifies data into mutually exclusive categories in which no order or ranking can be imposed on the data? Is it the nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio? The nominal level of measurement is the only level of measurement that classifies data into mutually exclusive categories, in which no order or ranking can be imposed on the data. Therefore, the correct answer is the nominal level of measurement. Identify which of these types of sampling is used. Random, stratified, systematic, cluster, convenience. A sample consists of every 49th student from a group of 496 students. Systematic sampling is the method of sampling collection where every kth subject such as every fifth subject is selected. This method is common in quality control. In our case, every 49th student was selected to form the sample. Thus, the systematic sampling technique was used in this case. What level of measurement allows for the ranking of data, a precise difference between units of measure, and also includes a true zero? Is it the nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio level of measurement? The ratio level of measurement allows for the ranking of data, a precise difference between units of measure, and also includes a true zero. Hence, the correct answer is the ratio level of measurement. Provide an appropriate response. Define the terms population, sample, parameter and statistic. How does a census compare to a sample? An appropriate response would be: a population is a complete collection of all measurements or data that are being considered. A sample is a sub-collection of members selected from a population. A parameter is a numerical measurement describing some characteristic of a population. A statistic is a numerical measurement describing some characteristic of a sample. Moreover, a census is carried out to a population while a sample is carried out to a section of the population. Determine which of the four levels of measurement, nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio is most appropriate. Salaries of college professors. Is the salaries of college professors in the ordinal, nominal, ratio, or interval level of measurement? The salaries, expressed in denominations such as dollars, lie in the ratio level of measurement. The correct answer is the ratio level of measurement. A qualitative variable is the only type of variable that 1. Can assume numerical values. 2. Cannot be graphed. 3. Can assume an uncountable set of values. 4. Cannot be measured numerically. A qualitative variable is the only type of variable that cannot be measured numerically. A simple random sample is a sample drawn in such a way that 1. Each member of the population has some chance of being included in the sample. 2. Every 10th element of an arranged population is included. 3. Each sample of the same size has an equal chance of being selected. 4. Each member of the population has a 0.10 chance for being included in the sample. A simple random sample is a sample drawn in such a way that each sample of the same size has an equal chance of being selected. Provide an appropriate response. Distinguish between qualitative and quantitative data. Give an example for each. An appropriate response would be: qualitative data consists of names, or labels, that are not numbers representing counts of measurements, whereas quantitative data consists of numbers representing counts, or measurements. Qualitative data example: eye color of green, or brown. Quantitative data example: height of 90 inches. What type of sampling is being employed if the country is divided into economic classes and a sample is chosen from each class to be surveyed? Is it random sampling? Is it systematic sampling? Is it stratified sampling? Or is it cluster sampling? The sampling technique employed in this case is stratified sampling. The country is divided into economic classes, which are strata, and a sample is chosen from each class to be surveyed. Therefore, the correct answer is stratified sampling.